Yes, let me refer you back to this date, 2011, February the 5th, Saturday. You might have checked your record because this is the first week in February 2011. But I want to give it to you. It's Saturday morning. I saw the crack dealer, or alleged crack dealer, come down the street from the south. Came down the street where I live. Walking down the street and came from the east side of the street. And when he came, he walked to I live on the west side of the street. And he walked towards the back of my van. My van was parked in the driveway with snow. It still melted off since he walked down there, but it had snow covered. It was snow covered. So this is the way God moves and show the people what's taking place. Well, he walked towards my van and then he reversed and walked over to the side door of the house. It makes no difference what he did. He didn't think I saw him, but what he did, he tried to make it look with somebody in the house taking pictures. I know this is what they do to make it look as if he was coming from my house. This is the same way they had did when I went down to Walmart and came back. They had a man, two men, pretending they're drug dealers or was they drug dealers throwing signs. I came from the opposite direction of this same street, and the police hadn't stopped and watched me come home as if they were making security for me. But this couple of days later, these two guys stood in the roadway where I had to stop for the stop sign. I was coming from the north on this street upon which I live. You know, they have did so much to me and caused, my mind and not think it's clearly. But they stood in the street to make it look with a man with a camera. I know he had a camera taking pictures from the far side, making it look animated as if I was selling or buying drugs from these guys. They done this for a setup to create a justified homicide in order to kill me. The same thing they done in Iraq, Afghanistan, making this thing look as if it's those people's problems over there, and it's the United States people's trying to steal their oil over there. Fabricating lies and deception to make it look as them peoples is against the United States of America, and everything look as if it's their fault. They use miracle with cameras. So what I did, I quit coming that way because after I stop a stop sign, they place people in my way to make it look as if they were selling me drugs. This is what the United States governmental body of the white man is done to the black man, using our black peoples to carry out this thing where they can create a justified homicide and come and kill us. And say we entered his house legally because we caught him selling drugs and we caught him dealing with gangbangers. You got to understand this. They come up with evidence, pictures, proclaiming this man has done something when he is not. But if you take your time and look at history, look at my record, you'll see that I'm not a drug dealer. Look back at the things that I have said to you, the things that I have spoken. These things hold true. When I go to the farmer's market in Conway, Arkansas, I have never seen a black face there the years I've been coming. This is self-evident. And when I go and look around my house, they have moved families out from around me of the black race and plagued my vicinity with drug dealers and drug lords, which they have the power to do so. There's no there's no black man selling at the food market. Why is this? Why is this that we was trapped for a burden, and we work to save the white man and the black man, feeding the United States of America, and here in Conway there is no black people selling food at farmers market, but white men's instead. But black men's in Conway is selling only drugs to the neighborhood, or pretending to sell neighbor drugs. And when you look at it, the pictures don't match. They don't match. So these people who proclaim in themselves to be people selling drugs are not people selling drugs, but vessels used by the Antichrist to set their own peoples up. They move in the neighborhood acting as if they're selling drugs. You might find drugs among them, but they are not drug dealers. They're used as setup mans to sell, make it look as if they're selling drugs to alienate and discriminate against their own peoples. That's the reason I said they came from us, but they're not of us. They're peoples used to set up us. Because what the United States are doing in Iraq and Afghanistan, they're taking the crude oil they need, creating lies of fabrication that you will not have common sense to judge between the one or the other. But you can't take this back. When you look at the habitat of the farmers market, where they sell stuff in Conway, good for the blood, you do not see a black male face. So, if this part over here selling food at the farmers market is white men and women, and this part over here selling drugs, it doesn't even match. The man that they allege is selling drugs is not selling drugs, but used as a fabrication of lies or deceitfulness to alienate and to discriminate against our people. And when they bring these peoples up into you before judgment and the court of laws and proclaim that man is doing drugs or selling drugs here in Conway, Arkansas, you have to reject that, because if they're selling drugs, then why aren't they selling vegetables at the farmer's market? Common wisdom will tell you this. But yet they use the black people to fabricate lies of injustice to take and alienate their own peoples and to place them into prison. They don't. This is far from the right. But if I take and go and buy food, and I can that food, which I have in my house in here, I am not a drug user, neither am I a drug dealer. You have to match the two together and understand this with wisdom, and understand that the people they're using against me to fabricate lies in the street by taking pictures at them coming from my van are peoples of the Antichrist used by the system in this town as a part to create a homicide or genocide justifying it. You got to look at this to stop me from preaching the same gospel that Martin Luther King was preaching to the people, to unite the world together, unite America together, city to city. But yet they're going by the way of drugs to make it look as if I am a drug dealer being associated with these young men who serve the ways of the Antichrist. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to tear